Previously on Babies and Broadswords.
You stand in an abandoned subway station, and there are treadmills all over the place. There are throngs of other kids roaming around as well. They're the two coolest guys in the place. We should give them discounts on any goods.
Whoa.
That's right, I am Meta Magic, the Sorcerer.
Okay, Mr. Meta. I want both.
Ah, yes, I'm back again because I have been here the whole time. This Mr. Meta was my father. I'm just a child. There's a whole gang of house cats, of talking house cats, and you hear one of them go, if I don't get at least 17 hours, I'm just no good for the day.
Those guys think they're so cool.
They look at you like, cute two legs.
Okay, four paws.
This is a special occasion, and Cindy is footing the bill, which is very nice of her. She's someone worth listening to. I think she's got a lot of good ideas. And I am a big kid. Hello, friends in podcast land, and welcome to another thrilling episode of Even Footing Games presents Babies and Broadswords. I am your sitter extraordinaire, Jason, and with me is our very useful crew, Aaryn, Lee, Jimmy, and Jack. Say good morning, everyone.
Good morning, everyone.
I'm useful.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Of course, if you're listening to this in the afternoon or the evening, turn it off and start it up again in the morning, because we're not going to.
Do we?
We work
It's
best
morning.
in the morning.
Yeah, we work best in the morning. It sounds the best in the morning. Science. The dog agrees.
Yeah, sorry.
Science.
Science.
Why are you not in your soundproof recording studio that we specifically built for everyone?
Oh, I wish. That would be very nice.
That would be
Maybe
nice.
the next house. I'll just sit in a closet and put foam everywhere.
Or clothes.
Yeah, clothes will work
Yeah.
too. Not quite as well.
Blankets,
Better.
quilts.
You grab your binky. You grab your special.
Doilies. I think
Doilies.
if I paper my room in doilies, I'm pretty sure I'll have more problems. I'm gonna get sent somewhere.
The room isn't any quieter, and now it's much more flammable. Maybe this wasn't the best idea.
Maybe.
Yeah, but look at all the lace. Look at all the pretty, pretty lace.
Hey, if you Google it, I'm sure someone on Instagram's done it.
That doesn't mean it's okay. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. When last we played, for all you folks, the babies had just gotten to the city after a rather interesting ride on Doug the Train, and had spent some time enjoying the commerce and capitalism and comforts of a place that was not the orphanage. Basically, what the babies have learned, I think, of anything in their travels is that any place, even the sewer, is better than the orphanage.
I never want to go home.
So far. They stayed at a nice inn. They enjoyed plastic wrapped confectionery cakes. Some of them enjoyed them. Some of them could not handle the sugar rush.
Don't get me started. I
One
just
of us
want
enjoyed
bacon.
Well, I think actually only one of them enjoyed it. The other three, woo!
It was great, but it wasn't as good.
And they met a couple of other babies. I believe Ignatius outcooled a couple of rival gangs.
That's why.
Power of friendship.
Gave a cat gang an existential crisis about whether or not tabaxis were half cat or if cats were half having a backseat.
That's normal
That
for
was
me.
so great.
The latch opens, and Nanya, the satyr who had been serving you last night, seems to be running the inn. Says, "Time to get up, kiddos. The Convoy Envoy Conclave is starting up, and everybody needs to get down."
Too early. The sun's not even up.
Well, we're underground, so the sun's kind of never up.
That means you sleep whenever you want to.
Look, I know you need a good 17 hours when you're your age, but there's important stuff going
You ever
on.
heard of a cat nap?
You ever heard of me kicking your butt out the
Okay,
door?
I'm awake.
She clops her cloven feet on the floor a couple times. Look, sweetie, I gotta wake up about 9 more groups of kids and get them out the door if I'm gonna turn this inn over. I'm the only one working here, and you all pay me in cookies, which I'm realizing the older I get isn't really all that useful.
Hey, you have to
so-
turn it over? Do you need help lifting it up?
If you don't want to eat the cookies you get, I know some kids that will help.
I mean, if you help me clean up your room, I'll give you a couple.
All right.
So she stands there and she goes, "Okay, well, I need all of your beds made. I need any messes picked up off the floor, and I need one of you to go down to the ground floor with this bucket and fill it up with clean water for me."
Get the bucket.
And she goes over to the chamber pot. Well, it looks like you kids didn't use this,
Oh.
which makes me a little
What is that?
concerned.
It's a weird-looking
Um,
bowl. Is that the kind you can drink out of?
Oh, I'm
Some of you
thirsty.
might. I'm not here to judge. I guess we'll deal with that if it comes up. Okay, so you, she points to you, Daybella.
Me.
Yeah, you go take the bucket down and go to the spigot. Do you know what a spigot is? Do you know what
I
a water
got
pump
it.
looks like?
Yeah.
Okay, you go fill this up with water for me.
She good at that.
Uh,
They Bella could do it.
Henry starts making his
Daybella
bed.
trundles off. Henry makes his bed. Swampkins and Ignatius, what are you two doing?
I'll be picking stuff off the floor and then putting it in other
Good.
places. I don't know where, like just trying to hide it. Just
Right,
hide whatever
right,
I
right.
find.
Just
Swampkins will be
Yeah.
trying to figure out how to make a bed, considering he hasn't really had much of a
Yeah,
bed.
I don't feel like Henry knows either. He's just patting the covers.
Okay, she comes over and she helps you and she shows you how to pull the covers up to the edge of the bed and smooth it out so it looks nice.
That's so fancy.
And then she takes the pillow and she fluffs it a couple times and she puts it at the head of the bed. And then she takes out a little package of peppermints and she gives it to you, Henry, and she goes, "Put one of these on each of the pillows, okay?"
Okay.
What? What's that? What's those?
Those are complimentary mints.
Complimentary?
Yeah.
But we didn't get any.
You didn't get any mints?
No.
You should have. There should have been mints
I
on
didn't
the
eat
pillow.
them. I didn't.
Oh, I wonder if someone came in and ate all your mints.
Wait, was that?
Well,
Oh, was that what I landed on?
finish cleaning up and you can each have a mint.
And
Um,
cookies you promised.
Oh, God, I forgot how greedy these kids are. Sure, yes, you can have the
Deal's
cookies.
a deal.
Daybella, you were downstairs. You
What do I see when I come downstairs?
When you come downstairs, there are logs strewn all over the floor. Like somebody has felled a tree in the middle of the night, and all the lumber has just timbered all over the floor. And when you go to step over what seems like a log, 2 eyes open up and look at you, and a voice goes, "Is it morning already?"
Yes.
I
Can I
guess-
help? Did you fall over?
"No, we were sleeping.
Oh.
I guess we'll get up." And he yells out, "Ribbit!" And all of the trees go up. And you realize you're in a room full of walking, talking trees. And they're just all kind of standing around in a grove. There's probably a name for them, but I don't know if it's copyrighted or not. And you realize that none of them are very big. So they're probably very young trees, which makes sense. They haven't gotten their full bushy, leafy growth. They're mostly just twigs and branches and stumps at this point. Are you the breakfast girl?
No. I'm the
Oh.
bucket girl. And I hold out the bucket.
What's going in the bucket?
Water. Water. I'm supposed to get water. Right. Do you know what a pigget is?
Piget. Is that where the water comes from?
I think so.
Okay, let's see if we can find it. I'm oak, by the way. It's because I'm an oak tree.
Nice to meet you, Oak.
We're not very imaginative in the talking tree world. This is my brother Oak, and my brother Oak, and over there is my sister Oak. And they'll go, hello!
We'll have a hard time telling each other apart, huh?
No, what are you saying? We all look the same to you? That's rude.
You all have the same name.
Oh, I can see how that would be confusing, actually. Well, okay, just pay attention to me then. Let's pretend the other 4 aren't even there.
Okay.
We'll go find the picket and get some water. And he reaches one of his branches down, as if he's holding out his hand to you.
I give him the bucket.
Okay, and he puts the bucket in another branch and he holds his hand out like,
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'll hold his hand.
there we go! And so the two of you go roaming around the room. Now, aside from the trees, there's the long benches that you'd seen the night before, and there's the little fireplace that doesn't have actual real fire in it because that would be dangerous for a bunch of kids. It's just construction paper flames that have been drawn in. And there is the doorway into the big kitchen area where Nania was going back and forth, bringing out everybody's mysterious yellow plastic confectionery cakes. And Oak is just rotating in a circle, looking around and dragging you around with him. So you're spinning in a very slow circle. I don't know where to go.
We'll go this way. And I'm going to go out the front door.
Okay. You head out the front door and he has
salt
to...
water out here.
He has to, like, almost bend himself in half to get out the front door. And you find yourself on the street. It's very early in the morning, so some of the shopkeepers are just starting to set up their tables and their shops for the day. There are little groups of kids clearly stepping out of various buildings, wherever they were able to find to sleep, and they're rubbing their eyes, and they're all holding their teddies and their blankets and trying to figure out where to go. The problem with having a town run by 4-year-olds is that no one really knows what they're doing the majority of the time, which makes you wonder in the back of your head why a kid Nania's age would even deal with that nonsense. Basically, she's babysitting about 30 or 40 kids at any given time, so, good for her. And Oak is like, if only we had some way to sense water. Can you, do you have roots? I mean, I could put my roots down, but... He looks at you for a second. You do have roots. Why do you have roots?
Oh, my parents gave them to me.
Oh, my parents just kind of dropped me from a great height.
I think that happened too, but I don't remember it very well.
Parents, huh?
If she's wearing any shoes, I imagine she doesn't really wear shoes. But
I
if
think she
is,
does,
she
yeah.
take them off and put both feet and her hands on the ground and see if anything happens.
Give me a crafty roll.
Good, I have bonuses to crafty rolls.
And Oak does the same. You see him hunker down at his little branched feet. What did you get?
I got an 8.
You get a sense that there is a water source. There are 2 water sources that you're feeling. One of them off to your right feels very big and rushing and dirty. And you get the impression that that's probably where the Great Brown River flows through the city. But there is a smaller, cleaner sense of water coming from your left, about maybe 30 steps away from you. And Oak is like, this ground feels weird. I'm not getting anything.
I think it's over here. I'll start walking towards that.
Okay.
Smaller water. Small water.
He trips behind you, and sure enough, you get to where you've kind of felt the water coming from, and it's a pole coming up out of the ground with a handle and a spout on the end of it. And there's a bunch of other kids sitting around looking at it. They've all got buckets, and they're very confused. Like, one of them will poke it, and another kid's like, hey, water! Nothing's happening.
I feel like this is something I might have seen a picture of in a book. Can I try and... Yeah, a brainy roll to see if I can remember Jack and Jill or something. It's not rolling great. That's an 8 again.
To remember if you've seen a picket before.
Yeah, like a water pump.
Right. Yeah, with an 8, you've seen a picture of one, and you've seen water come out of it, so you know that that's what this is, but you don't know how necessarily to work it. You can't quite puzzle out why the water's not coming out of it.
Okay. I guess we have to open it. And she's gonna try and grab the handle and try and unscrew it. Like, turn it.
Give me a muscly roll.
Oh boy. That's a 6.
You grab the handle and you're trying to shake it back and forth. Nothing's happening. It's not moving. But
Maybe
Oak,
someone stronger. Maybe Thwompkins.
yeah, you could run back and get the Lumpkins. Oak's like, I could. Who? What? No, I don't know who the Lumpkins is. Doesn't make any sense to send me. He looks almost affronted by that. Yeah, I am the mighty Oak.
You gotta open it. You turn it? I can't get it.
Okay, he reaches down one of his branches and he's like, I hold it here. And he's holding the handle.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, and I open it. Like, what?
Push it
just,
really
like,
hard.
Push it real hard?
Yeah. And the water will come out.
The second Oak grabs the hand pump part, he pushes, just goes flying off.
Oh, jeez.
And shoots across the street. It's like a fire hydrant being opened up. All the water whoosh, comes shooting out.
You did!
And a geyser. And all the kids are like,
Oh!
and he's like, I did it! And he just kind of opens his arms, takes all the water. And all the kids are running around with their buckets. Out of nowhere, a bunch of kids come in swim trunks and just start playing in the water. You can hear where the inn was. Nania's voice as she's coming out to see what the weight is going, oh.
Bella's holding her bucket underneath the water and letting it fill up with the drops. And she's like, I've got it. I'll be there in a second. It'll take a little bit.
Oh, it's not going to take a little bit. It's Oak has let the spout off of the town's water source at this point. It's just a geyser coming out, you know. Kids standing too close are getting pushed out of the way by the water shooting out of it. But you fill up your bucket and give yourself a good soaking as well, which is probably good since I think you were still covered in train grease. And who knows what else. So you've got your whole bucket. And Nani is just rubbing her forehead. And she's worrying one of her horns with the other hand. And you can see where she's probably going to wear that horn down in the spot if she keeps having to get stressed out like this. She's like, oh, you got the bucket of water, huh? You found the spigot?
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, why don't I'll just take that. Thank you. Thanks, sweetie. Your friends are upstairs. They're just about done picking up their room. If you want to join them up there. Or if you want to help, you can get me the tray of biscuits that's on the counter and start giving that out to people.
Oh. Yeah. I will do
Since
that.
You like to help, don't you?
I run inside and find the tray of biscuits.
Okay. So while Daybell is doing all that, guys upstairs, give me adorable rolls to see how well you can out of your room.
Henry got a 7.
Flumpkins got a 6 plus 2 for an 8.
Oh, using your bonuses. All right. You did a pretty good job. Henry, your bed isn't quite as sharp as some of the others, but you think that's mostly because every time you try to smooth down the sheets, your tail would whip out and pull up the sheets on the other side, so you were just going back and forth trying to re-smooth the sheets out, and it just wasn't quite working out, but you did okay. Ignatius, nobody knows where you got the quarter from, but you're flipping the quarter off of the bed and just watching it bounce off the sheets. Like you've got your hospital corners perfect. For some reason, it's like Ignatius has been making beds all of his life. It just came naturally.
I just hit everything
like,
onto the bed.
You're so
Looks
good
great.
at this.
Blumpkins, you did okay too. And she gives each of you, after you place them on the pillow, she's got a few left, so she gives one of each to you guys. These peppermints are chock full of sugar, and if you eat them in combat, you can move 2 ranges instead of just 1. And if you eat them outside of combat, you can move super fast for 1 scene. So they give you a nice little swirly peppermint rush.
Ugh.
Okay, wait. Say you would do cookies too.
Go on downstairs. There's cookies downstairs. Follow me. She goes on down the stairs. Daybell, you have finished handing out all of the biscuits to
I took one for myself.
Of course you took one for yourself. That was to be expected.
Is this just like a regular biscuit?
It's just a regular biscuit. I think she saves the sugar rush. The good stuff for the evening. This is basically just like a biscuit. But yes, you've got a biscuit. And she gives you a peppermint as well, Daybella.
Okay.
For helping with the water. And she's like, okay, kids, everybody gets a biscuit. If you want one.
I'm going to have to eat it.
Biscuit is not a cookie.
A biscuit is like it's like an early
It's
cookie.
not a cookie. I tasted it. It's not a cookie. I'll eat it.
Fine.
It's like porridge in a way. It just don't have much taste.
It's like hard porridge. Crunchy porridge.
That makes it a little better.
And crunchy porridge is usually only on Thursdays. So
Ugh.
I have a quick question. Does my new book not count against my carrying capacity?
No,
Okay.
it does not, because your old book did not. Yeah, you've traded your old book
Okay.
for a new book. She gives each of you a cookie. Yeah. She says, thank you for
Hey.
helping to clean up your
Thank
rooms."
Best day. Already doing good, guys.
But you might want to take your cookies to go, because I think Cindy's going to be starting the Envoy Envelope pretty soon here, and you're going to want to get a good spot.
I'm ready to go.
Okay, let's go.
So you are shoving your biscuits in your mouth. I'm sure a couple of you grab extra ones. It's not great, but at least you can hold these down. And you think that might also be part of the reason why Nani has switched from yellow cake confections to basically dried pancakes. And she sends you out the door. And you can hear her muttering as you leave. I mean, I did open a hotel for children. I shouldn't be surprised at anything that happens anymore.
If you're surprised, then you're silly.
You know what, little fella? That's probably the truest thing you've said all day.
I said that you owed us a cookie, and that was also true.
Sure did.
See? I know a lot.
Yeah, Gus is
It's a good
very
thing with
truthful.
To a fault. I bet.
Almost all the time.
Where's the fault?
She holds up a book she's been reading. There's one in our stars, according to this.
Whatever.
this is a big kid book. There's no pictures.
Readings for dragons.
Okay.
Wow.
Does Henry not know whether to be insulted?
Yeah, he's a little like, okay, sure. I do like to read, and I am a dragon, so okay. Maybe I was gonna be insulted, but
A plus B does equal C in that one, I guess. Remember, kids, all A's are B's, but not all B's are A's. Just pondering it. Is that right? You step outside. In this case, again, the water has stopped gushing all over the street, Daybella, as a couple of the older kids are hastily putting buckets on and they're trying to screw back on the water pump that Oak knocked off. There seems to be some panic in their eyes as they hastily try to fix the broken spigot, but it's not your concern.
That looks fun.
You kids got your biscuits. Yeah, whatever. That's big kid
That
stuff.
looks fun.
Yeah.
It's not fun. This is our town water supply.
Frumpkins.
No, everyone can have some. It's fine.
Wouldn't it be awesome to do zoomies in it?
I gasped too hard.
It's still riding a sugar
I gasped too hard and now I can't breathe.
It's okay, Frumpkin, chill. I'll give you a hug. I didn't mean to get you too excited. That's bad.
jeez.
Okay, bud.
Thank you.
Our friendship comes through again. All of the other kids are heading in a line, and your immediate instinct as small children is to follow the line of other small children. So you all start walking together. You're still getting whispers from the night before. Oh, look, it's the new
Where?
Triangle Gang.
Oh yeah, it's us.
Hey, look. We can do the friendship clap too, and everyone's doing the friendship clap. You just see a bunch of kids intently staring at each other's elbows before they do the clap. And they're not missing a beat. It's all in the elbows. That's the secret.
Guys, this place is kind of like, we got standing line like at home. Well, Lady Chastity's, but it's a lot cooler because, they're giving a friendship claps.
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's pretty cool.
We need to bring the friendship clap to Lady Chastity's.
All you got at Lady Chastity is with friendship punches in the arm. So it's the friendship clap is a step up. Yeah. The babies follow the crowd. You follow the crowd into a large courtyard where you see some of the other gangs that you've met all surrounding this open area. You see Cynthia and the weird kids huddled together in their robes, and Cynthia gives you a wave from across the room. There's a group of binky pirates glaring at everyone.
I'm gonna glare back at them.
Yeah, they glare. You see Captain Horatio with his bathmat pants, and every now and then he'll spin a big old wad of something at his feet. But he gives you a wave, Daybella, when he sees you, because you've been accepted by the Binky Pirates for your spinning prowess. You notice the tiny scamps. They're the gang who runs the courtyard back at Lady Chastity's. And there's a bunch of other kids you've never seen before, whether they're from your orphanage or another orphanage, or they live down in the underground. But there's about 100 kids. It's a huge group of kids, and everyone is standing off in little groups themselves. The cat gang has claimed all the high ground, and they're up on a perch looking over everyone like cats do.
Are they telling people that they have the high ground?
Whoa.
I have the high ground!
I have the high ground, Anakin.
They just keep calling kids Anakin for some reason.
Anna Kid? You see, that kid is Anna. That's Anna Kid.
Yeah, it's on a kid. Our miniseries is going to be great, I promise.
It's going to be better than Boba Fett. See that kid? That kid
boy,
Boba?
don't-
Yeah.
That kid right there, Boba.
He's just following around that
He's-
kid
he's
Mando.
lame.
Mando.
Yeah. We had big hopes that Boba was going to be just as cool as Mando was, but
Unfortunately not.
Womp, womp, womp.
unfortunately. Take that, Disney. Yeah, got him again. Yeah, zinged him. Hot takes from the babies
I just
gang.
learned what a hot take is. Yes.
They're now sitting in their office like, well, I see that we won't be promoting their show on Disney Plus.
Yep.
They've crossed me for the last time. All right. Okay, anyway. The kids that you outcooled, Ignatius, are standing directly across from you, and they're giving you the hairy eye. And they're really leaning into the leaning in. They're upset that leaning in is no longer the coolest thing, but they're trying to reclaim it by leaning on anything and everything. So there's a bunch of them leaning on each other and falling over. And to the general loud cacophony.
She said to pick the best spot. What is the best spot?
Well, it's very cool where we are, so this must be the best spot where we are already.
Oh.
Standing in the end.
Cool where we are.
You're standing like right in the entranceway, like kids are trying to push around you. It's like,
Perfect, right? I mean,
Right in the middle of everything. Obviously, that's where we should be.
Oh.
Everyone, yeah.
Well,
we
where's
see the most people, and the most people see us.
well, where's older Cindy gonna be?
hey, we're trying to get
But then,
by.
you're looking for
Some
old
of the other
Cindy.
kids.
What?
Well, excuse me.
Why would that matter?
Hey,
Wait, what? Hey, don't like it when you
excuse
do
us.
that. I don't like it when you do that.
Hey,
Huh?
kids,
What?
get out
What?
of the way! You're
Oh,
standing right
sorry,
in the middle.
sorry.
Trying to push you out of your spot. Kids are walling up and trying to shove you out of the way.
Hey, no shoving.
Hey kiddos, it's Jason, your friendly neighborhood sitter, and I want to talk to you today about Anchor by Spotify. Anchor is an all-in-one podcasting app that lets you edit and record your podcast right from your phone or computer, and then host it on your favorite podcast catching website. And the best part of all, it is absolutely free. Anchor is what we use to host Even Footing Games Presents Babies and Broadswords, and even though I've had to record this ad 15 times, what you're going to hear is the best version we have, thanks to Anchor. So download the Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started today. It is so easy, a baby could do it.
Hey, Toddlers, looks like I've got you all to myself today. Some exciting news. We are going back to 1 episode a week, and the main reason we could do that was because there's more of us editing. But the second most important reason is that we were able to get a program that helps us edit our audio files much, much, much quicker. And we are paying with that program from our Patreon funds. So if you wonder where the money goes to when you get on a Patreon, in our case, it's to help us get your product out sooner. We also want to make sure you check out our websites, Even Footing Games. It's got linked to all of our social medias. We've got some exciting new small projects coming up while we work on the next big game. So keep an eye on Drive-Thru RPG and on our website. You can always get a copy of Babies and Broadswords, the book with all the rules. And like I said, we'll be putting out supplemental stuff very soon. Thanks again for listening, and let's get back to the episode.
Shoving's bad.
You guys, I'm going to need some beefy rolls to see if you can stand your ground.
I already moved out of the way.
Not yet.
Polite.
Dave Bella's already moved. She's like, I'm done.
She's like,
Guys,
sorry.
There's plenty of room up here, guys. There's plenty of room up here. Yeah. She's got a whole open space. Like, stand up here.
2.
Got a 9.
Yeah, I got a 7. A 2 plus 5.
I got a 3.
Ignatius stands his ground for a moment, but then he realizes he's the only one staying there. The rest of you have gotten pushed. Henry, you got trampled a couple times. Your poor old dragon tail. And you're going to take... 2 ouchies.
Buddy.
Ignatius is like leaning against the crowd.
Yeah, he's like, you're literally like, and you're holding them back for a
The
second.
second Thwompkins sees that Henry's been hurt. I want Thwompkins says, that's not cool.
It was an accident.
Apologize.
Sorry. But whoever stepped on his tail's already been swept along by the crowd.
Oh, my tail's all bent out of shape.
Henry. Okay. Gets out his new medical equipment.
Oh, you got your...
Dr. Flunkin.
Dr. Flunkin.
Medicine gargoyle.
Why not? Let's see. Hot water bottle. I take it that's a once per scene. Yep.
What's
so
the break?
we'll use that to remove a grump, tummy ache, or ouchie.
Ooh.
So Thwompkins just comes over with his hot water bottle, which is hot for some reason. He takes it and he shakes it up and he sticks it under his armpit.
There's no water in it. It's just
And then he slaps it on your tail. It doesn't really help in the sense of healing anything, but you're so distracted by what he's doing that you forget that your tail got hurt.
So it's the major pain thing.
Yeah. Yes, exactly.
That's real nice of you. When did you learn how to do this?
I don't know. I just, was like, hey, I got stuff that I wanted to do to help everyone, and I got this stuff, and they're like, hey, this can help people, and I'm like, okay.
That's really cool. I'm glad you're learning new stuff.
I'm learning?
Learning is important.
Nurses said I'd never learn a thing in my life.
They said you'd never amount to it.
Oh. That's true, because I can't add.
Guys, I think we gotta get out of this spot.
Yeah, Ignatius, you've been standing there like, you're not gonna go anywhere. And this big kid with wings and a fire whip comes out of nowhere, and you just turn around and nip out of there.
But he should.
This is not the best spot. There's a better
But
no.
But
You can pass. You can pass. Yeah. But Daybella has already scouted out a good spot, so you just all go up to where she is, and you can actually see better here. So,
Daybella, we all have good stuff we do, and you are great at picking out spots.
Well, you can see better here.
She's a good spot picker.
And no one's stepping on my tail.
Well, you can put your tail in the middle of the circle. We'll stand around.
Okay,
Protect
Henry,
your tail.
Protect your tail.
Henry definitely lets everybody protect his tail and faces out.
Guard my tail, you jerks. There's a hush. An awkward silence seems to fall over the crowd. as Cindy approaches from a side gateway. She's an orc. She's in her early teens, and she's by far the oldest person there.
It's like the oldest person I ever saw.
Besides the nurses.
12.
Except for the nurses, but she's pretty old. I mean, she's like 14. Yeah. Okay, that's a good distinction. She's the oldest person you recognize as a person, and not a terrifying existentialist outside entity. Yeah. Right.
And not like Nurse Cthulhu.
Right, not like Nurse Cthulhu.
She's like a grown-up.
Luckily, she sleeps all the time. She is a beautiful shade of emerald green, and she stands about 5.5 feet tall. And her hair is bright pink, and it stands up straight in Liberty spikes.
Wow.
Whoa.
She's got a t-shirt that says Cindy with an eye, except instead of the letter I, it's an eyeball. And she's wearing a nurse's apron. And it almost fits her.
Do you guys think that's how she gets to be able to stay? Because they think she's a nurse?
I think she might be a beholder.
What's a beholder?
You never seen a beholder, baby? It's very scary.
Oh, wasn't it about hold it? We met one and the weird kids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And he was pretty scared.
I didn't know. I just thought they were eyeball kids.
Oh, they're called a beholder. I know a lot of stuff sometimes. You just haven't went to white.
They just wanted to be older.
I don't know, but she makes me really wish I had hair.
Your Cindy is gonna be real mad at you for talking
Why?
about that.
Why?
That's not very nice.
Wait, what? I'm confused. Ah!
The point is, she's the coolest person you've ever seen without trying to look cool. She looks effortlessly cool.
Wow.
Her cool stats are maxed out.
That's pretty impressive. She might be even cooler than Jimmy.
Might be. Very probably.
Or
She climbs up on a platform, and she stands in the middle of the courtyard, and she can see everyone. She's surrounded by little kids. She starts to speak, and everyone goes quiet. Do you know your 1, 2, 3s, babies?
1, 2, 3.
Yeah!
I say the future is ours, if you know your 1, 2, 3s.
I know him!
One.
Now look what we have here. We've got the Binky Pirates sitting next to the Bedwetters. Senor Popper's Flightless Aquatic Birds are right next to the Lollipop Guild. And nobody's farting on nobody. And that is pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
And pretty cool is the way things
I've been holding one in.
Mom, Ken.
You're standing here with this envoy envelope with a bunch of babies from a bunch of gangs. And there's a bunch more out there that must have gotten lost or something. That is a whole lot of toddlers. There's only about 10 nurses in the orphanage. That's
more than 3.
Here's what's up, babies. One gang could run the orphanage. One gang. Nothing would happen without us saying it was okay. We could get all the cookies, keep all the good toys, never have to eat gross snot porridge again.
You're saying that one could rule them all?
That's what I'm saying, baby.
One gang.
The nurses keep making us fight over the same dumb toys, but we could have all the
They're all
toys.
broken.
Not the good ones.
They're good
All
ones?
the toys if we just stop fighting each other.
Fix them. We fix the toys.
We fix the toys. We take over one room at a time until we got the whole orphanage. because it's all our orphanage. Can you dig it?
I can dig it.
Can you dig it?
I'm under.
I did it.
Can you dig it? And all
Thwomp
the
is
babies
trying to dig.
They're cheering. We can dig it. We like toys in the orphanage. We're gonna
I
take all the
can't dig.
nurses.
It's too hard. The ground's too hard. I can't dig.
And Cindy is she's just nodding. Yes, that's it. Everyone give me nosy rolls.
2 plus 2 is equal.
Oh,
No,
2 plus
I
2
say
is
that.
4.
Daybell's buying the hype. She rolled a 1.
You are in my
Plus 4 is 8. I'm an
5.
2 plus 2 is 4.
Okay. Ignatius, you're into it. You're pulled in. This thought of taking on the nurses, you're cool with that. And you're looking all around the crowd like, yeah, we're all in this together, right? But you're the only one not watching Cindy at the time, which is why you're the only one who sees that kid you out-cooled, that jerk from that gang, hold a straw up to his lips and
I'm gonna move
Blow
as
into
fast as I can.
a wad comes out of nowhere. He's on the other end. You're never going to get him. There's too many kids.
Secret Service.
Wad comes shooting out, and it hits Cindy right in the face, and she falls back in slow motion.
Gotcha!
And I'm like trying to push babies out of the way.
And all of her gang closes in ranks on her, and one of them yells out, "It's cooties! Cindy's got cooties!" And, no! Everyone breaks out. And the guy who spit the spitball, he knows you saw him, Ignatius, and he points his finger to you, and he says, "It was the new Triangle Gang! The new Triangle Gang gave Cindy
No,
cooties!"
it was not. It was not us.
I saw him.
And the whole baby crowd
He's got a straw.
centers on you.
He's got a straw.
And that's where we're going to end the episode today.
And Thwomp Kids is still like, I can't dig through this ground.
I'm not digging at all! Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Babies and Broadswords. We're going to have a little bit of big kid talk. But if you're just here for the adventure, vaya con Dios. We'll see you next time.
What he said.
Can you dig it?
I can totally dig it.
I can't
I dig
dig.
it!
Hey, I can dig, but not here.
There's rocks. It's rocks under here.
But
Just like
it's one big rock.
Head. Welcome to Big Kid Talk. I think we're just a short little chat today for the big kids. Some of you may notice, if you are, I don't know, old white guys, perhaps, of a particular
Hey,
age.
I resent that. Old white ladies are fine too.
Old white ladies.
Old people in general.
Or if you dipped way into geek culture of the 70s, you probably recognize I basically stole Cindy's speech from the Warriors, Cyrus's, and it come out to play. And if you don't think I'm going to be using that again later, you are wrong. But very obviously, there is a lot of outside influences taken in from pretty much everything, and especially in the game of Babies and Broadswords, which is at its heart a lampoon of more established role-playing games. It's a spoof, it's a parody to some extent. So I wanted to get your guys' feeling a little bit about how you use your outside influences in how you play your character, the games that you play. How have you used, pop culture or books you've read or whatever the case to sort of help you inform your gaming?
I think that I definitely leaned into the wise old dragon, but then when we made him a guile character, Henry, I think that it's very well established that there are lots of dragons who are kind of manipulative. And
I wouldn't be surprised if Henry's last name turned out to be Smaug at some point. Like I feel like you're going that route a little bit.
you know what? Maybe I could be really into riddles.
Let's find some dwarves
There
and
you go.
find out.
Yeah, exactly.
Smog just wanted to be left alone.
Guys, I just want to hang out with my
In a
gold,
mountain.
my mountain of
This
cookies.
treasure.
Leave me alone.
Some nasty bandits came
Trixie Hobbitson.
trying to steal stuff.
You know what we should do? We should take that 10-page sequence and turn it into 3 9-hour movies.
Oh,
You're onto something.
I think that'd be great.
Right?
Yeah, you're onto something. One gang to rule them all.
Hey, me.
Yeah.
And so, when we're talking about outside influences on games, I just want to say there are tropes for a reason. I hear a lot of talks in these RPG communities like, oh, that trope is so overdone. Well, not at my table, it's not. So
Yeah.
It's true.
don't listen to people who are doing that. Those are just loud people, speaking about their game and their experience. The tropes are there for a reason because we can identify with them. Don't be afraid to pull a wise old dragon trope for your character, but then at the same time, don't be afraid to let the game change your character. You're not tied to that trope.
Yeah.
Some of the tropes we've played, I feel like, are starting to get washed away by the experience of the game, which is
It's always a good place to start.
it's character development. And it's wonderful and fun and
I mean,
No, don't.
tropes can be there to build on, or acknowledge the trope and then twist it.
Absolutely.
Subvert expectation.
Yeah, one thing to remember when basing a character, like a story, off of something quite literally that you've read before or seen before, is that everyone has a different interpretation of each story. And so even if you're doing something that's very close, it might feel different to other people and therefore be fun. And new.
Sometimes maybe everyone doesn't know the reference. Like I definitely know of the Warriors movie. I have never seen it. So
I haven't either.
So what came to my mind, I was having
simply
more of
must.
a
You simply
Godfather
must.
image in my head.
Sure.
and honestly, at first, you could even say like this is sort of Braveheart-ish, or any other movie where there's that sort of
Groups coming
hey, we
together.
need to stick together, and
that's actually what I thought of too. Was the Braveheart speech? So
yeah, he verbatim
I was-
the Warriors a little.
I thought
Pretty much,
got-
yeah. I was copying it word for word the other night.
because I
Yeah,
had
it's a baby.
like Jack, I haven't watched that, so
Yeah.
it's. I'm saying I saw similarities with something I had seen that was different. So
And I was getting gangster,
Well-
sort of like, like the Batman gangs coming together, like we can rule this city,
That's actually not too far off from what the Warriors.
Batman
That's
stole
exactly
that.
what
from the
happened.
Warriors.
Yeah. But the point is that idea of a charismatic leader bringing disparate groups together is a trope in and of itself. Whether I was cribbing directly from the Warriors or taking from William Wallace and Braveheart or whatever the case may be, it was, even if you didn't understand the reference, you got the intention behind it.
And it was super fun. Like, man, that built up so wonderfully. I
That
tip
was
my
good.
hat to you. So that was fun as hell.
I just picturing all the slow motion, all the slow motion scenes and everyone's reactions, and Swampkins just sitting there trying to dig into the ground in slow motion and be like, no.
It's like taking that spit wad. Yep. But so I think when I steal, and I'm gonna say I steal when I good writers
Borrow.
steal
When they borrow.
when they borrow. No,
I'm not giving it back.
I'm not. Yeah. You're lucky if I admit that I'm stealing. But I'm definitely stealing.
This is the one and only time. From now on, Jason is
Yeah, this
original.
everything else has been totally all my idea. No, if you've been listening to Baby's Broadswords, you know it's peppered. I can't go an episode without making some sort of pop culture reference. For this thing, it fits, but I do the same thing when I'm playing my straight games. It's just all about subverting, looking for the core elements of things and subverting them. But yeah, it's like everyone is saying, tropes are tropes for a reason. Tropes are like memes. They're shorthand for what we understand something to be. We all understand the archetypes.
Those tropes help.
If
Fill
you
in the blanks for things that we already understand,
Exactly.
so you don't have to tell a bunch of story
And
and ramble on and on.
And it also helps for people to get a immediate response,
Exactly.
because of, for example, like, the references and the ideas in our head. We already know, like, because, like, for example, like, I already know how Thwompkins is going to kind of feel about all this once he actually focuses on it, is he's not going to be all for this. no spoiler. He's not going to like this because he's not going to like the idea of kids telling other kids who can play with what toy and whatnot.
Right.
And I got...
But it's okay when the nurses do it.
But he was also brought up by, you listen to the nurses, so...
Yeah.
Who says anyone has to tell each other,
Well, he's...
Who knew Thwompkins was lawful?
Thwompkins is...
Thwompkins is a paladin.
I have said long ago, if we come up with a paladin, it probably more than likely... I don't think he'd be 100% like, these are the rules, but I think he'd just...
He's not going to be quite the goody two-shoes, but
he's kind of more... He's just... Yeah. He's the compassionate baby. I have no real influence that I pull from with his personality, but I mean, obviously, Gargoyle, come on. I am obviously picturing him as a certain type of character design from a certain type of cartoon from a certain era called the 90s, so there's some definite influence there, but for his personality, yeah, surprisingly, don't feel like I've really pulled from anywhere in particular. At least like the trope, of just like the overly nice, overly polite kid who's also just dumb as dirt.
And we recognize that trope, and I think we all kind of play in. And you haven't had to say, "Hi, I'm Thwompkins. I'm overly nice and dumb as dirt." We've understood, we get it.
Well, that's the funny thing. You guys established he was dumb as dirt. I ran with it because what's funny is his cuteness is his dumb stat. His precociousness is not.
Precociousness means a lot.
That's the fun thing is also a lot of influence also from your fellow players.
There you go, and don't be afraid to let your fellow players subvert the tropes that you've selected. Character development is also how well you play off of each other. So just because you're like, I'm going to be Luke Skywalker, you're not going to say Luke Skywalker if you're playing the way that. Not that you should, but that if you're really being collaborative with your fellow. And again, sitters, if this is the first time that you've kind of put together a module, or if you're writing your first story, Babies and Broadswords is kind of designed to some extent to be for beginning players. Don't be afraid to steal and borrow and to pay homage. 90% of homebrew worlds that you may ever play in
that dragon game
that are the same thing. They've taken
100%
from some outside influence,
100% together.
Except mine.
I mean,
except Jimmy's are.
Jimmy's dragon game is all completely
100% completely only out of Jimmy. We're going to be stealing from Jimmy because it's so original. That's how.
What's funny is in that certain dragon game, there's a certain setting that begins with E that people are like, "Oh my god, it's so original" and stuff. And I love that. I love that setting. But it's the whole idea was that Keith Baker, who made it, was like, "No, I'm going to turn everything on its head." Like he still acknowledged the tropes, acknowledged the things that everyone latches onto, and twisted them on purpose.
So the culmination, I guess, I think of the Big Kid Chat today is that tropes can be useful when you're starting out as giving a shorthand for your character. People will understand what you're trying to accomplish. Don't be afraid to twist those tropes, and don't be afraid to grow out of the tropes. And if you're a sitter and you're writing your game for the first time, don't be afraid to borrow from other influences. Just make sure that you are acknowledging what you're doing and that you're giving your own spin on things. Sometimes that is as blatant as changing suckers to babies. In the case of my little speech there at the end, sometimes it's really turning things on their head.
If I may add something real quick to that, I apologize. I may. Thank you. Also, I feel like doing the tropes and everything like that is also good to establish right from the get go. When you're doing your session 0, like if you say what your character is. For example, if you're like, "Oh yeah, my character is basically a paladin, but my own spin on it, but kind of the core of that." Someone's like, also, "Hey, my character is the core of this," and then someone's like, "I'm doing basically an evil necromancer." Everyone can look at that evil necromancer and be like, "That really doesn't jive." And you could talk it out. And also, don't be afraid that if certain tropes and stuff are being hit that you really aren't comfortable with. Like for example, if I really didn't want Thwompkins to be dumb as dirt, and everyone else had established that Thwompkins is dumb as dirt, I should feel comfortable enough to have said, "Hey, Thwompkins isn't dumb, but I thought it was fun."
Yeah.
This is totally
Stop making fun of me, guys.
not
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I feel like you need to be comfortable with your group.
Jack, do you want us to stop playing Thwompkins?
No, I'm just using that as an example.
It's
No.
okay if you're comfortable with the way.
Well, at that point, then I need to retcon a lot. So I've been 100% leading into that. No. I have no problem at all with Thwompkins being dumb. It's just like the thing that like that and Cindy are the things that you guys established about Thwompkins that I really like. I didn't establish those things.
Right.
I yes them. And but don't be afraid to be like, no, guys, no. When that happens, and that also has to do with tropes too, because people assign tropes.
Thwompkins has a lot of emotional intelligence, which is just as important, if not more so than.
I like that Thwompkins is considered dumb when he's actually not, and then my character tells everybody how much he knows, but he's the dumbest character.
I don't know. Thwompkins is the one currently digging into the ground.
That's just because he's a baby.
Yeah. Most 4-year-olds don't quite get metaphor. Or 70s slang.
But the point I was trying to make was that's the thing about tropes is that it's easy also to assign tropes to other people's things, and you need to be able to comfortable say, no, that trope does not work. This is not what I was doing. But both the DM and players need to have that discussion if it comes up.
Right. Well, thank you all so much for sticking around for our Big Kids Talk. I hope that those of you who are, drawing up your first characters or writing your first module got some useful info, some advice out of there. From the Even Footing crew, thank you so much. We will see you next time. If you haven't gotten a chance, check out our various social medias. We've had some interviews with a lot of cool companies lately. Some really cool podcasts and review folks who sat down and talked to us about our games. You'll find links to all of those in our various social medias. But from all of us at the Even Footing Presents Babies and Broadswords team, we'll see you next time.
Bye-bye. Thank you.